Welcome back to my channel. I am your favorite mother of three, Bougie Vintage, and today's video is the 5 most important things I've learned since becoming a mom. I'm just gonna give a little countdown because a lot of people ask me for mom content and a lot of people cuss me out for mom content. I can't please y'all, so I'm just going to talk to the moms and the mamas to be and the hopeful people that want to be moms too, and the dads. Actually, this is a very informative video, but these are 5 things that I think are really important that every mom should know or take into account, because literally motherhood is just winging it, like literally winging it. Okay, I never thought that I would be the one to say this. Go cheap. Okay, go cheap. When it comes to certain baby items, you don't need to blow back. You don't have to do the most. Let's have a toast. Go cheap. Why are we spending? Go cheap. Especially as more and more kids start popping out of your hoo-ha, you want to go cheap. And I don't mean on everything. I don't agree with that. But there's certain things that I learned along the way that, you know, I would spend in this area versus in this area. Because one thing about these babies, they gonna ruin something, okay? They're gonna ruin something, and they don't care. That's the other side of it. They literally don't care. So I'll give you guys an example. When you're first becoming a mom, you want the best everything. You want the top of the line this and the top of the line that. And maybe you don't, but that's how I was. I want the top of the line everything, okay? There's certain things you have to splurge on. Stroller, car seat, anything that is safety related, anything that is practical should be of quality. However, when it comes to household items, girl, the cheaper the better. I'd rather buy it cheap and it be affordable to replace than something expensive that is not affordable to replace. Our first high chair was over $300. I didn't purchase it. Shooter purchased it. But it was over $300. It's a freaking high chair. What are they going to do with it? They're going to sit in it. They're going to smear their spaghetti sauce all over it. They're going to throw up on it. Okay? Wipe their yucky hands on it. Damage it. That's what they're going to do. It's a freaking high chair. $300 for something that somebody is going to just smear their yucky hands on? No. That is like putting on your gown that you paid $300 for and cooking in the kitchen some SpaghettiOs for your kid, and the SpaghettiOs sauce is popping up on your satin gown. What is that? So our first high chair we spent that much money on, and the first high chair actually broke and ended up in the garbage. Therefore, when I came to having to buy a second high chair, I cheaped out. I bought the cheapest possible one. And I don't care because I'm done having kids. Therefore, it's not going to be here much longer. Noel's going to want to sit at the table anytime now. So the good part about the first high chair is that it served 2 children, of course. Most of the things that I purchased have made it to a certain point in my motherhood journey. Been able to hand down certain things, but the high chair had to go. The other thing is clothing. I personally do not splurge on my kids' clothes. I'm always buying them clothes because they're always growing. Girl, catch me at Walmart, Joe Fresh. Catch me at Old Navy. Catch me at Gap. Okay, Gap is a little bit more pricey. Catch me at Gymboree and freaking The Children's Place. Those are all places I shop for my kids. I do not buy Gucci for my children. What did I tell you? They're going to take their hands, their grubby little hands, and they're going to smear it on their Burberry dresses. You buy that kind of stuff for like photo shoots, and then they also, obviously they don't only wear like Walmart stuff, but the majority of their clothes is from Joe Fresh and Walmart, period. Period. The other things that they wear is obviously their Nikes, their Adidas, Puma, stuff like that. Obviously they wear out regularly, like if we're going out of the house or whatever, but it's a pandemic, we're at home all the time. It's Walmart. It's the Walmart does for me. And if I'm not putting them in that stuff, I make them stuff. I actually sew them stuff, and they love when I sew them outfits. They're always asking me to make them something, but I'm always busy. So I try to make them something every once in a while, and then they like refuse to take it off, which makes me really happy. Anyway, moving on to number 4. The fourth thing that I've learned since becoming a mom is that I did not sign up for this. I do not get paid enough for this. Sometimes I want to run away. Sometimes I feel like, what in the hell is this? What is this? But that's normal. And I've learned that that's normal. When you talk to other moms and you talk to your friends, books, and you read forums online, you see just how normal those feelings are. Every day is not going to be a cakewalk. It's not going to be a breeze. You know, especially not when you're dealing with all toddlers. God forbid, when they get to teenage stage, girl, I don't know how I'm going to deal. Okay, we'll revisit this conversation. But right now, with a 4-year-old, an almost 3-year-old, and an almost 1-year-old, some days are really, really tough and taxing emotionally for everybody. But the sooner that I was able to grasp the concept of every day is going to give me a different set of challenges, and every day is not going to be easy, it made it a lot easier to deal with. I just literally take it day by day, you know. There's no right or wrong way to be a good parent. Well, actually there is. But y'all know what I'm trying to say, I hope. Like, there's really no rhyme or reason to the madness that goes on inside your own home. As long as your children are loved and cared for and, you know, there's peace, it should be okay. And every day is a new day. And every day you get to learn more and more about your kids, and you also learn a lot about yourself. Don't beat yourself up, I guess is the lesson for number 4. Don't beat yourself up on those days where you're feeling like, I cannot do this, or I don't want to do this. This is too much. It's just a negative thought for a moment, you know. It goes away almost immediately. You don't dwell on it. Some people do, child, and those people probably shouldn't be parents, but that's neither here nor there. The one way that I combat feeling that way is making sure that I'm taking time out of every day to do something for me. I feel like as a mom, you're constantly tried and tested. Oh! Girl, if you wanted me to take the bar exam, then just say that, Lord. At this point, I really feel like that would have been easier than raising kids, okay? Because these kids are testing me. Every day they do it. And every day I have to stay 10 steps ahead of them. Otherwise, they will run all over me. And that actually brings me to my third point, which is schedules are my friend. I am used to operating in organized chaos, like 60% chaos, 40% organization. But when it comes to my kids, scheduling has been a godsend. Scheduling has changed my life. I encourage everybody to put your kids on some kind of schedule and stick to it. Commit to it. Let it be your normal. The schedule that I have them on is more for me than for them. Because if I don't put them on a schedule, that same point that I was just talking about of everything being taxing and stressful on you every day, especially if you're a stay-at-home mom, those things can kind of be alleviated if you have a schedule and you stick to it. So from morning to lunchtime to after lunch to bath time to bedtime, it's all structured within a few hours of the day. By 6 to 7, we already have started winding down, okay? Because at that point in the day, I've had enough. The kids are all bathed and pajamaed up by 7:30, 8 o'clock the latest. Once they're gone to bed, I'm a free woman, okay? I can do what I need to do. I make sure that everything happens at the same time every day. Creating routine is really, really important to our sanity as a unit. So breakfast time might change depending on when people decide if they're waking up or not. But everything else is pretty consistent. So lunchtime is always going to be at 1 o'clock, and bath time is always going to be between 6 and 7. And even the order in which they are bathed does not change. Nola always gets her bath first, and then the girls get their bath second. There's just a flow to the day, and it makes it easier to cope. One thing that I have had to recently re-implement is quiet time, because if I don't ask for that quiet time, demand that quiet time, my day is a mess. So we've implemented quiet time. Once Nola's gone down for her first nap of the day, it might be her only nap actually, the girls have to have their quiet time too for at least 2 hours, because the yelling, the shouting, the screaming, the playing, the noise, the banging, all of that stuff for the whole day is too much, girl. I'm like, if y'all don't shut up, please shut it up. So they have to go for their quiet time, and I get to get a lot of work done while Nola's sleeping and they're having their quiet time. This is how I structure my day so that I am getting me time and my sanity can remain at a neutral level. Scheduling for us does not stop there. Scheduling also goes into grocery shopping. It goes into which days of the week we might or might not be leaving the house. It goes into our dinner and lunch menus. Those things have kind of changed the game for me. More so planning either the night before or the week before what we're going to do for the following week has been extremely helpful, because if we know from the night before that we're gonna have, say, curry, so we take out the meat from the night before, we season it, we're good to go the next day. It's quick, it makes things quicker, it just makes things flow easier. So that's really important to me as well. Number 2 on my list of the most important things I've learned since becoming a mom is that the ears on the side of a toddler's head are there for decoration. Okay, they do not work. They are broken. They are pointless. They don't work. Okay, they are simply there for decoration. I don't feel like I really need to elaborate on that. The girls that get it, get it. The girls that don't, is what it is. And last but not least, number 1, the thing that I feel is one of the most important things that I have grabbed from becoming a mom is the 3 L's: listening, learning, and loving. I've learned that it's really important to listen to my kids, even though I feel like they don't listen to me. I think children long to be heard and respected the same way we do as adults. And I feel like if you show your kids a certain level of respect, they will show you that same respect. Not just now, but in years to come. I think as parents, a lot of parents find it hard to accept that their child is going to put up boundaries that their parent is not allowed to cross. Because as parents, you naturally feel like, well, I brought you into this world so I can take you out. Like, no. I feel like as parents, because we're bigger and older and wiser, some of us, we feel like what we say goes. We set the boundaries, we set the tone, and our kids have to do whatever we say. They set boundaries for us too. And it's important for us to know what those boundaries are. And I don't mean your kid is the boss of you. I really don't feel like I have to explain this one either. I feel like if you understand what it is to be a good parent, that this is something that won't go over your head. I guess I'll give the example of tickling. I have kids that like to be tickled and kids that don't like to be tickled. And I personally don't like to be tickled. And I remember being a kid and somebody tickling me to the point where I wanted to die, basically, because it makes me so uncomfortable. And they would not stop tickling me. And so just because I'm laughing uncontrollably does not mean I'm enjoying it. And so if your kid has expressed that boundary to you and told you, they're yelling out, stop tickling me, even though they're laughing, I feel like that's a boundary. So now I know you don't like to be tickled, and when you say stop, I'm going to stop. Because if I, as a parent, don't stop doing something that you're asking me to stop doing, why would I expect you, as my child, to stop doing something that I'm asking you to stop doing? It's a two-way street. And it goes on to further in life when now you're a part of a world that is outside of your home. When you ask people for decency and respect to stop, you have to expect that they're going to stop when you say stop. And it's really as simple as that. And so it starts at home. It starts with tickling. For me, it's little things like that that lets children know that they are seen and heard. Because we're coming from a generation where our parents were taught that children are seen and not heard. But that is very false, extremely false, and hurtful. As I've developed as a mother and as my children have grown, I learn different things about them all the time. All of my kids are different, and I have one baby that loves all kinds of foods, and I have another baby that is so picky I find it hard to feed her. Salem doesn't want Parmesan cheese on her noodles, like dry Parmesan, but Belle loves Parmesan cheese on her noodles. And if I wasn't paying attention, I would keep putting Parmesan cheese on Salem's noodles. But it took me actually 2 times to realize she doesn't want cheese on her noodles. I didn't realize she didn't want it because she simply didn't eat it. She didn't really say anything. And then when she had it another day, this is months ago, when she had it a different time, again, at that point, she said, I don't want cheese. So I had to give her a whole new set of noodles without the cheese on it. And from that point on, I realized, oh, she doesn't like the cheese. She's not eating the food, and now she's voiced, I don't want cheese. And so for a few times after that, she would make sure she said it before I finished making the food so that I know to not do it. And then I told her after maybe the 5th time that she was telling me, I said, I know, baby, I know you don't like cheese. I'm not going to put it on. I know now. And so those are the things that I feel are important to children. I think it makes a world of a difference when they realize that you realize their quirk or whatever it is about them that they feel is important at that time, that you as a parent are remembering that and catering to that need. My goal is to always make my children feel like their feelings are valid and that they are important. I don't want my kids to go through life feeling like they can't come talk to me about anything. I don't want my kids to go through life feeling like they're going to be in trouble when they need to talk to me. You know what I mean? I want them to always know that I am listening. And so I believe that it starts from the time they're 10 months and running around the house and bringing me a cup because she has no words. Like, it's stuff like that. Like Nola, she doesn't have words. Obviously, she's a baby. Well, she does have words. I lied. She says bye-bye. She says hi. I heard her say and Belle the other day. No cap. And she obviously says dada. Sometimes she says mama. But, like, she doesn't have anything major. Like, she's not saying shoe. Anyway, because she doesn't really have words and she can't say, Mommy, I'm thirsty, she will go and get a cup and bring it to me. And at first, I didn't realize that she was telling me she was thirsty because she's only 10 months. I thought that she was just destroying the cupboard because she literally takes everything out of their cupboard and puts it on the floor. But most often, she'll start just walking around with a cup because she thinks that it's going to get filled with liquid. She said, Lord, my cup runneth over and this cup is dry. So I know that she's trying to communicate with me. She's a very bright little baby. Anyway, it's important to listen to your kids, even if they are nonverbal at the moment. I feel like where food is concerned, a lot of parents take a different approach. Like, if they see their kids not finishing their dinner, they yell at them and scream at them. They tell them they better eat everything on the plate. But if your child literally does not like the food, why are you going to force them to eat it? Were you not a child before? When I was a kid, Brussels sprouts were absolutely disgusting. When I got older, literally last year, I had Brussels sprouts for the first time in probably 20 years. And I was like, I'm obsessed with Brussels sprouts. But when I was a kid, whoever made them real nasty. Right now, I'm living for Brussels sprouts. They have to be cooked right. They taste like cabbage. Anyway, you have to understand that your kid might not like something. So, and it's okay to not like something. You don't like everything. Like, why would you force your kid to eat something they don't like? It makes them feel like they're invalid. It's not like they're saying, I don't want to eat this, I want McDonald's. They're literally just telling you, no, I don't want cheese. I told you that 3 damn months ago, but you weren't listening. You know what I mean? That's how I feel like kids feel inside, but they can't articulate that. You cannot learn your children if you are not listening to them and paying full, close attention to them. Especially in distress or times of need. And when it's toddlers, that is all the damn time. Bellamy is forever in distress. What is that noise? It sounds like a plane is landing on top of my house. Like, what is that? And it's literally shaking the floor. Okay, listen here, Pop Smoke. Stop shaking the room now. What is it, a plow? Like, what is that? And so when you are listening to learn, in the end, it shows your child that you are loving them and loving them deeply. I feel like when it comes to these 3 L's, listening, learning, and loving, you can't have one without the other. If you don't love your kids, you won't listen to them and you won't learn anything. And if you don't listen to your kids, you don't love them and you won't learn anything. There's no way that you could love your children if you're not listening to them. I'm sorry. I don't make the rules, okay? Don't shoot the messenger now. My belief is just really that it takes a really loving parent to listen to their child and respect their child and learn from their child and realize that these kids are literally sent here to teach us. And mine teach me stuff about myself every single day. I've learned more about myself in the last 4 years than I have in the last 20-something years. You know what I mean? I'm really glad and grateful that I have this experience to bring me to whatever next level dimension I am heading to. I love you all so much. If you have comments or questions about parenting, leave them below. I will be glad to respond to them if I can. I love you all, and I will definitely see you in the next one.